Rebellions are built on hope.
Welcome to another episode of Radio Rebellion, a Star Wars podcast. I am your host, Alberto Calderon. I'm joined again by our good friend, Oti. How are you doing, Oti?
I'm doing fine. Hello to the Radio Rebellion people.
Yeah, I mean, we have a lot to talk about today.
Yes.
I was before, probably about 2 weeks ago, I was like, should we do a show about Disney Plus Day? Maybe there's not a lot to talk about. Then all the scoopers out there and all the, not leaks, but all the people out there have those connections, started posting, oh, we got a Kenobi trailer, an Andor season reel, maybe something for Mandalorian season 3. They're going to announce a new show. And then I was like, okay, we're going to need like 3 hours to go through all this. And then yesterday happened. So we'll talk about all that in detail. But before we start, how's your week been? And since you were here last, you made a little trip to a place called Batu, Galaxy's Edge. How was that?
I actually have like 2 cool stories right now. Yes, I went to Disney World to Galaxy's Edge. It was freaking great. I loved it. I loved every second spent there. And I'm doing an episode on my podcast next week about the whole experience. I'm also going to do a video, which I'll upload in my YouTube channel, which has no videos, but I just want to make a video of all the pictures and everything I made.
That's how we start.
I loved it. I really did. I got on both rides 2 times.
Cool. Nice.
I arrived very early to get on Rise of the Resistance as I got into the park. Rise of the Resistance is just mind-blowing. I don't know if you got the chance to go.
Nah, that's the one I couldn't go.
There's just it's great, but there's this one moment where my jaw dropped. And it was funny because it's a picture we've seen as part of the promotion of the park, but I just wasn't expecting it to happen there and then. It was awesome, and yeah, I loved it. But I have to say, man, if you have the time, if you can get the reservation and you have the money, the lightsaber thing, oh my god,
you were able to do your lightsaber?
Yeah.
Nice.
I saved up the money to actually like get that specific thing. I also made the droid. It's in pieces somewhere, and so is the lightsaber.
Back there. My daughter's, which I keep, is down there.
Okay, so but the lightsaber thing, man, it's so immersive, and you feel it. You feel what the guy's talking about and the story behind it. It's great.
Yeah, even the droid, which is more of there's a bunch of people making the droid at the same time, and there's like
kind of a mess, but it's fun. It's very fun.
And then when it's starting to get connected and the lights start turning, so that's pretty cool. So my plan originally when I went in the summer, which was a bad idea, but anyway, was to go to Savi and do my own lightsaber, but I just couldn't get there in time. Because you have to reserve. Back then it's like 90 days in advance, and if you don't click on it at 7 straight in the morning, you're not gonna get it. But then someone told me on Twitter, hey, I didn't get it, I went over there, just got on a wait list, and they called me later in the day. So my plan was, okay, I'll get there when it opens, I'll go straight to there to get on this waiting list. Life happens, and I didn't get to the park till almost 12, like 11:15. So I didn't even try it, because 2 hours after the park open, I'm not gonna get it. So I ended up getting the Dooku one, which is fine because I love that lightsaber.
Cool.
And then some other issues happened. I couldn't get on that second list for Rise of the Resistance. But I'll ask you.
At that time, it was with the virtual queue, right?
Yeah.
So
no, during the summer, you still have COVID going on. Even though the park was open, you were supposed to be wearing masks inside. No one was. But they had 2 queues, one at 7 in the morning, and if you didn't get that one, then I think at 1 in the afternoon or 11 in the morning, you had to try to get on the second queue at 1 p.m. That 7 in the morning, same thing. At 7:00 with 20 seconds, it's sold out. I went in at 1, I got on it, but it went under my daughter's name, who was originally going with me, but she couldn't make it. So my stupid head said, well, I'm not an 11-year-old girl, they're not going to let me in. So I went back to change names, and by the time I did that, 15 seconds, no, okay, it's full. So I couldn't get on.
You'll have to go again?
Yeah, there you go. Let me just get another $200. But I'll ask you, and then you can tell us. when our friend Andres from 60 Minutes was here a few weeks ago, he had also went. And I said, when I went, again, middle of July, it was packed to the brim. So even though it was pretty immersive and it did feel like Star Wars, it felt mostly to me as an attraction. It felt like I'm at a Disney park just because there's hundreds of people there, everyone with a bag. I was running with my lightsaber. We're going to store this. Did you have that feeling that it was still an amusement park, or were you able to get immersed in it? Because you went a few weeks ago, so it's kind of slowed down a little bit.
It just so
Not too
happened
much.
that it coincided one with the last weekend of Horror Nights, which I also went to. So that area was pretty packed. And it also coincided with the 50-year anniversary week of the Disney World. So,
okay, so
they were pretty full. There's a lot of like real world things that influence. Like, for example, I made the lightsaber, so I had to make this judgment call to run to the car, leave it there, and go back because it's a mess to be with that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a bunch of people with backpacks and sandals taking pictures. It's obviously part of it. There were a few moments where I was like very immersed in the whole experience. One was in the Rise of the Resistance, and once you ride it, you'll understand why it's more of like an experience than a ride. But I tweeted it out. I wore a Mark and Rose shirt to the park. And I was checking out the shops, which, by the way, I was very disappointed with the merchandise. I didn't buy anything. And I saved up like a bunch of money to just go nuts. I didn't buy anything, apart from the lightsaber, of course. And this cast member comes to me and he's like, "Oh, the Eye of the Storm. Interesting old legend." And I'm like,
yeah, that's nice.
Losing my mind. I'm like, I couldn't. I was in shock. Like, as they say in Puerto Rico, pasmao. O sea, I was pasmao.
Seguro.
I was in shock. So yeah, it's a balance. Like you can be very immersed, and suddenly someone walks by with a turkey leg, and you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah, because the park is open, or that area is open to everyone that's visiting Disney. So you have people coming from Toy Story World, just walking through it. They just want to walk through Disney. So that's when, oh no, that's right. But I'm still in a park.
I really like that part of the park. To get there, you have to go through like some there's like this tunnel, and where it connects with Toy Story, you have like some trees. It seems kind of secluded.
Yeah, and so it kind of breaks a little when you get there.
Yeah.
All right.
And one last thing, if someone's thinking about going and hesitating, in my experience, you said it that during the summer they weren't respecting the mask mandates. This time they were very strict.
Oh, wow. Interesting.
I saw someone get kicked out of the park for refusing to wear the mask inside a store or something.
Get out of there. No,
he was like, no, I'm not going to wear it. And they were like, sir, you have to put on your mask. And he was like, no. 2 guards came, took him. He's gone.
Yeah. Kylo Ren, we need you at Station 5, please. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So if you guys are watching this, thank you for being here in the chat. We'll check with you guys soon. Make sure you like this video, hit that thumbs up. If you're watching this later on the replay, leave us your comment below what you thought about Disney Plus Day. Are people like maybe myself overreacting a little bit because of what was not shown? Was this part for the course for what we should expect for Star Wars, or should they have done more? And if you're new to the channel, make sure that you subscribe. So let's say hi to a few people in the chat before we start. Our friend Emperor Holocron has a nice way to say, does a recap imply there is something to talk about to begin with? Yes, because we did get something. One of the problems is it got leaked. Not leaked because it was a Disney adjacent kind of Twitter page, right?
And posted it at the wrong time.
Yeah, I guess that this time change threw people out. So it was there. We just saw it before. But was that enough? Our friend Tony, Mr. Rest is here. Hey, yo, thanks for being here. And Chris King. Thank you, Chris. How could I forget? Dale Erdman, first like. Thank you, Dale, as always, for joining us. All right, so before we start with everything, you know what? I know you guys are ready. I'm ready. Let's talk Star Wars news. And if it's Star Wars news, it's gotta be Disney Plus Day.
Star Wars news.
That's not the one. Sorry. All right, that's the right video. Sorry, I just put it in the wrong order, but it doesn't matter. So, Oti, I keep saying Star Wars news has been pretty chill lately, but these past few weeks, it's starting to go. First, we got the Book of Boba Fett trailer 2 weeks ago, I think, which we'll talk about if it was released in the right time or should they have held it till yesterday. But the first news, and let's talk real quick about Book of Boba Fett trailer. Did you watch it? And real quick, what are your thoughts on it?
I did. I loved it. I remember when you were on my show, we talked about some worries I had with the direction and the violence and everything. And that trailer just put everything to rest. I'm ready for the show. I'm ready.
Yeah. Same thing. I mean, I didn't have any reservations, but that trailer hit all the notes that it had to hit. Told you that Boba Fett is there to take over Java. Fennec Shan is there. It's Book of Boba Fett, but Fennec Shan is right there with him. And he's taking over everything, at least on Tatooine. So very interesting. And I still believe that we only saw bits and pieces from maybe the first 2 episodes.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I have no doubt in my mind.
All right, so let's go ahead, and our first big news drop, I think it was earlier this week or at some point last week, was... All right, I don't know why that one has music, but anyway, Rogue One, or Rogue Squadron, I should say, that was going to be directed by Patty Jenkins. We heard about this basically a year ago in that Disney Investor Day. We had not a trailer, but she talked for about 2 minutes of why this movie was so important for her, because her father used to be in the Air Force and she wanted to make this movie, how big of a Star Wars fan she is. She got the X-Wing jumpsuit on, the helmet. We were all ready for it. Supposed to come out 2023, and last week, delayed indefinitely. What's going on? Or what are your thoughts about it? I don't know. What do you think about that news?
It sucks, number one. I think that in a vacuum, I wouldn't have been so excited for a Rogue Squadron movie. And that's weird because I love pilots. I love pilot stories, but I'm more, in terms of Star Wars, I'm more into the Force, lightsabers. But that teaser I was like, yes, like here's someone who has a story to tell.
Sure.
And I was very excited for it. I love Patty Jenkins. I love the Wonder Woman movies. I don't know what happened, man. I'm bummed. The indefinitely part is worrying in a way, because if they said, "Oh, it's delayed a year," then you could go like, we're still in a pandemic. There's still difficulties going on. Maybe Warner Brothers is like, "Hey, we need to push out Wonder Woman 3." I don't know, but indefinitely, yikes.
Yeah, and this is schedule conflict, I think is what they said, which it's in some sense, or in some ways, it makes sense, because you said she has Wonder Woman 3 responsibilities. Then she's doing this Cleopatra movie. So these are 2 big franchises, movies that are going to take a long time to make. And then to put a Star Wars movie on top of that, it is a lot for one person to kind of be responsible for all this. Which was supposed to come first, we'll never know. Some people say Star Wars was supposed to come first and then Wonder Woman. At the same time, you've already done 2 Wonder Woman movies. I'm sure there's a schedule for that one that might take some precedence.
But DC is also a mess, so who knows?
Yeah, DC, you never know. They had their DC fandom. I don't think they mentioned Wonder Woman 3. I might be wrong.
They just mentioned it's happening.
Yeah,
with Linda Carter.
Yeah, that's right. So I don't know. I was excited for this movie. Same thing as you. My favorite thing in Star Wars is lightsabers, Jedi, and the Force. But this seemed like something different, something that we hadn't seen in a live-action Star Wars. So that made me very interesting. So I do hope this happens at some point, but I wouldn't hold my breath if it doesn't happen. But at the same time that this news, which is the only official news that's out there, everything else that we're going to talk about, most of it is rumors and scoops and all these things that we'll talk about. If scoop culture out there is part of the issue, was this rumor that they were fast tracking an Old Republic movie. And then a few days later, they said that might be wrong. It might be a High Republic movie. And then even they threw Chloe Zhao's name, which for people out there in this space, she did Eternals, which I love. I watched that movie when it came out. So I was hyped for that. But it seemed kind of too quick that, yes, she did Eternals, and now she's doing Star Wars, and she's doing Feige's movie. All this information came out of nowhere. And then I think this morning they said, hey, take it easy. But Old Republic, High Republic, let's focus on that. What are your thoughts when you heard this, and do you think any of this is going to take the spot of Rogue Squadron?
Is it? I don't know, man. Because
let me phrase it. Would you prefer an Old Republic movie or our High Republic movie at this point?
Okay. Baby steps. Yes, I would prefer a High Republic movie.
Okay.
In a sense that we have the books, we have the comics. Let's get into this era. We've been exploring the same 60 years for the past 40 years. Let's explore these 200 years.
Yeah, no.
For the next, I don't know, not even 40 years. Let's just do it for 10. I don't know. Is there a movie that's gonna replace the time slot of Rogue Squadron? I'm gonna say no. I don't think so.
Okay.
Unless they've been really developing a secret movie that every time Robert Rodriguez, Filoni, and Jon Favreau leave the volume, this crew comes in and they shoot, and it's this whole secret thing. I mean, they kind of did it with Book of Boba Fett.
Yeah,
they announced it. Yeah, we're doing it, and nobody had any clue that was happening. So maybe, but I'm really not holding my breath for that. For a secret movie to pop up. If it does, yes, awesome. So cool you made a secret movie, but I'm not holding on hope for that.
You reminded me unless in Solo, when they're trying to figure out how to deal with the coaxium, and he says, unless work with me here. So yes, it does sound ridiculous that they have this secret movie ready to go. A lot of people, when they said, they're fast tracking an Old Republic movie, not everyone, some people went, here we go, Star Wars again, doesn't know what they're doing, they're gonna rush this movie. And then someone posted out there, and I retweeted it or found a video, back in 2019, I think it was, Kathleen Kennedy was asked at some event, hey, the Old Republic, people keep talking about it, what are you guys doing? And she said, yeah, this is a topic that comes into conversation for years, so yeah, we're looking at it. So that kind of gives me, okay, maybe they've been working on this since 2019. That gives them 4 years. And then the High Republic got mentioned, and I'm one that says, if we're right now expanding the High Republic, let's focus on that. Let's do one era at a time. Yeah. And then we're finishing up this first phase of the High Republic. If it keeps with the same one, let's say phase 2 ends in 2022, phase 3 ends in 2023, do a High Republic movie that bridges the gap between the end of phase 3, the publishing side, and the Acolyte, which the rumors is going to start shooting 2022 or 2023. So if there's a movie in between those that bridges the gap between the publishing side and the Acolyte, then yes, it makes sense to me. Again, how early did they start working on this? I don't know. That's for us to, like your shirt says, speculate responsibly for the guys at Force Center.
Yep. And I'm wearing it on purpose, of course, but I do want to mention, and again, speculate responsibly, please. I have no sources. I don't know anything.
You sure?
So they had Benioff and Weiss, the creators of Game of Thrones, working on a movie for about a year, I think. And Ryan, we don't know what's going on with his movie. It's still happening. You ask any party, they say it's still happening. We do know conversations were had, stories were developed, things happened, things moved along. Could they be like reworking what Benioff and Weiss started off and giving it to someone else to develop, and here's our 2023 movie? I don't know.
because rumors were that they were working in this time frame, right? In the past, I don't know if it was Old Republic or what, but I think it was, or at least that's what people hope that they will be working on. So I don't.
There were rumors that Ryan's gonna do Origin of the Jedi and they
Mhm.
are gonna do Origins of the Sith,
Oh
and it's
yeah,
all
and
gonna
then
lead into this one
yeah,
massive movie. I don't know.
yeah,
I don't that's doesn't seem like the Lucasfilm model. It's
hmm
very Marvel model, but
yeah, yeah.
I don't know,
So
man.
I
It's
don't know. So I
I,
now that you bring the Benioff and Weiss, and we know that Star Wars picks and chooses from things that were half
yeah.
developed or fully developed. We've seen this in Rebels, in everywhere. Oh, look at this old concept art. So it wouldn't surprise me that there is some story treatment out there that they say, hey, maybe we can work on this a little bit. And then that, hopefully, they'll be working on this for a few years, and maybe it comes out 2023. But again, I don't know. So let's say hi to first. Let me. Chris King kind of added that he feels the Old Republic would really confuse the casual fan, and it might. And casual fan is something that I want to talk about when we talk about Disney Plus Day. But I know Old Republic for. I know the video games are out there. I think I played one, maybe. I don't even think so. So even I don't know too much about it, but we'll see. And our friend Lauren Romo from the Galactic Podcast is here saying that the Benefit and Wise treatment is more likely what Ethan has been working on. That's just her feeling. And I think you guys are onto something. I completely forgot about it because there's so many other directors that have been attached. J.D. Deloy was he was supposedly, and these are all rumors, supposed to do something. I think there were some other names thrown out, but we'll see.
Here's the thing. Two things. One, I always try to take everything with a grain of salt. If it
Mhm.
hasn't come out of Kathleen Kennedy's mouth or it hasn't been posted on Star Wars, it's not happening in my mind. Even if it's
Sure.
Hollywood Reporter, which is my number one source for these kinds of things, it's not happening. So there's a lot of rumored projects, a lot of attached directors who I see in Twitter and things, and I'm not buying it. And number two, Celebration is in May, right, or April?
Um, May. Let's say May. I
Let's say
think it
May.
was in
Okay.
August, and they moved it to May. Maybe.
If we don't get an announcement on a movie,
You're fine. You
during
can keep going.
okay, if we don't get I got nervous. If we don't get an announcement of a movie in Celebration, we're not getting a movie in 2023. It's it's just not. I don't see it happening if we don't get an announcement at that point, and it still
Mhm.
will be tight if they go like, "Yeah, we're making this movie. It starts shooting in 3 weeks," and it's like, it will be very tight. It will be
Yeah.
like we've been working on this, and we started shooting just like a week ago. Fine, but
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, 2023, it's difficult. I know
It's
we said
tight. It's very
maybe
tight.
it's a lot of speculation. So it's maybe if they've been working on this for a few years, maybe if they're using that old script. And again, it's just speculation. It's hard to do something at the scope of Star Wars again as quiet. Because even Book of Boba Fett is a TV show, maybe smaller scale that kind of just sneaked its way. But trying to do a full movie and no one knowing what's going on for Star Wars, I know some other movies have done it out there, but I don't know. It's
You
gonna
know,
be hard.
I just had this image in my mind. This will be like the massive mic drop moment. We had Kathleen Kennedy in Celebration. She comes out. She's like, "Hey, we're working on a movie. It's coming out in December 2023. We would like to present the director to um, talk about the project, but he couldn't be here. We have a video." They play this video. It's Ryan Johnson on set, and he's like, "Yeah, guys, I'm on set. We've been working for 2 months. Oh my god, my head would explode."
Yeah. So similar to that, Lauren added that I think we get an announcement before Celebration and we get casting at the event. So maybe that kind of works together.
Yeah.
And again, Celebration is Celebration for a reason. It can't. There has to be new announcements, and this is the best place to announce a new movie. And Ryan Johnson, even though Last Jedi is not my favorite movie, I don't hate it like some people out there. And a lot of people, not a lot, but some people that don't like Last Jedi do say if he gets full reins of something brand new that he can develop and put the Ryan Johnson spin on it, then yes, it's gonna bank because everything that he's done has been great. Um, so we'll see. I'm not good at casting directors or actors, so whoever they choose, I'll be on board with it.
There's people who get paid for that.
Yes, and unfortunately, it's not us. We just talk about it and complain behind the
Yep.
keyboard.
Yep.
All right, so let's get to our main topic, which is Disney Plus Day recap. And this is Disney Plus Day. They're celebrating their 2 years, the big streaming service out there, and this is their day. And I don't know before, let's say 2 weeks ago, how hype or what we as Star Wars fans expected or hoped that would be shown. I don't remember. I always thought that the trailer for Book of Boba Fett was going to be shown in Disney Plus Day because it was getting so close. But then it got dropped, I think the 1st of November or something like that, on a weird Monday at 9:30 in the morning. Just boom, here you go. Stop complaining, Book of Boba Fett. And we just talked about we loved it. And then last week, I think it was, or earlier this week, all the scoops, all the rumors, not from one person, like two or three saying, my sources are saying we're getting an Obi-Wan Kenobi trailer, a sizzle reel for Andor, news on Mandalorian season 3, and most likely an announcement of a new show. And everyone, including myself, went nuts because it wasn't one person, it was two or three not outlets, but three accounts out there that are trustworthy to some sense.
Yeah, everyone was talking about this. Everyone.
Yeah. So we were extremely excited. I tweeted at you, hey, we're going to have a lot to talk about on Saturday. Get ready. And then we got, unfortunately, the day before, on Friday, this Disney Plus Day something account posted I'll come back to it, but posted the sizzle reel, if you want to call it a sizzle reel, for Kenobi. And then some people were saying, is this what we're going to get, or is this just a preamble? And then people were like, yeah, don't worry, there'll be more. And about 10 minutes afterward, it got pulled. When it got pulled, I got scared. I think if they're really going to this extreme, I think this is it. But I was still holding up hope. I even tweeted, because I know I complained yesterday a lot. I tweeted on Friday saying, if this is what we get, this is what we get, because Lucasfilm never announced anything. But I do expect them to show something else. And it didn't. So we'll come back to that. But the format, let's start with the format for Disney Plus Day. I was expecting this to be a big event because, again, Disney Plus are trying to take over Netflix and be the biggest streaming service out there. And they didn't do this as a streaming event. It was live tweeting from the Disney Plus account for about 2.5 hours, and they went through the whole list. What were your thoughts about this format that they use?
Overall,
yeah, just overall,
extremely sloppy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you mentioned it. They actually got a dip in their stocks because they missed the subscriber number. They missed the subscriber number for the quarter, which would make me think that they would go literally all out, like have Bob Chapek, same as with Investor Day. That was a great moment.
Yes.
And then thinking about fandom, I mentioned that DC is a mess. I love DC, by the way, but the way that studio works is a mess. And the fandom is incredible. That's a great event. It's very well made. They talk about everything in the pipeline, and as with everything, they don't talk about things we want them to talk about. It's totally fine, but it's a very well made event. So I was honestly expecting something like that, and I was shocked when people said, "Oh no, it's Star Wars is just gonna be via tweets," and I was like, "What? Like, why?" And then I was thinking, so maybe they don't have anything big to announce Star Wars wise. Maybe it's just following up on everything we know, and they'll just do it via tweet. But there's still gonna be this other live event going on, and there was nothing.
And it didn't.
And it was just like this Twitter thread. Things got lost in the of the tweets. And
they put the wrong Will Smith on it.
They put the wrong Will Smith. If you were gonna comment on it, you were talking to Patrick Dempsey and everyone. It was bizarre. I really thought it was very sloppy overall.
Yeah, I mean, so that's when same thing. about the way it was presented. A few weeks ago, I was tweeting out there, hey, do we know when this is going to start? Because we all knew Disney Plus Day November 12th, but when is it going to start? I didn't know. And then someone said, yeah, this is the schedule, and it's just going to be through Twitter. Make sure to follow that Disney Plus account or something like that. And yeah, it was, I wouldn't say sloppy, although, yeah, but it was really difficult to follow because if you miss a thread, and I don't know, there wasn't, and you didn't know when they were going to start with Disney stuff or Pixar. Star Wars came in the middle. They jump into cars real quick, like we talked before. This is under the helmet. This is a poster. Oh yeah, Kenobi. You gotta go to the Disney app to watch it, and then here's cars. And like, wait, what the hell happened? And then Marvel did all their stuff in about 5 minutes. They did like 12 things.
And you know what? If you're not gonna have this big event, just do a video. Just do like a slideshow. And here's
slideshow. I got something to show later, but we'll get there.
So yeah, I don't know. The tweet format sucked. I have to say it sucked.
So the reason why just the reason, I do agree with you. And some of the reasons I'm gonna say why I was disappointed in the Star Wars side, not just as a fan, because I'll say now, even though I complain about it, I'll complain about it today, it's not because we deserved anything. We don't deserve crap. Well, I'm happy with everything we got. I'm talking as a consumer and someone putting myself in a casual fan or a new fan's kind of shoes. But this is Disney Plus Day. It's your day to celebrate your biggest streaming platform that you're trying to take over. And to do it via Twitter, you're not reaching everyone. Twitter, it's huge. 9 in the morning on the West Coast when people are working, you're not going to get new fans that were new subscribers.
Nope.
Do a live stream that people can go back. If they didn't catch in the morning, they can catch it afterward. Last year's Investors Day, I think it was like 5 in the afternoon, at least for myself. When I got home, that's when it was. And that works a lot better. But, okay, so we both agree that the format didn't work, especially for their big. If it was just a regular day, we're announcing some stuff. Okay, whatever. It's Disney Plus Day. This is your day to tell everyone, hey, we're taking over. And then Amazon, I don't know if you guys saw, if you're a fan of, I forgot the name, this hero show, the superhero show that they have on Amazon.
The boys. They did the VOD Plus.
They
mockery.
And there's a plus and everything plus, and that was better. That was even better than anything they showed. But I did love the Willow thing that they did. That was the best.
And I'll just say I haven't seen Willow. But I love Warwick Davis, so I'll watch.
I used to love Willow, I don't know, 30 years ago, whenever I was 10 years old. And I do remember it. Val Kilmer was there and Warwick Davis. It was a great movie. I don't remember it. I remember Val Kilmer's character being locked up in this cage and Warwick Davis kind of freed him. Mm-hmm. But I love, because Warwick Davis, when he's in Celebration, he kills. And this 3-minute thing was phenomenal. And there was more Star Wars there because we had Enfys Nest there, and it was great. So
I love that bit where she's like, this isn't Star Wars, right?
Yeah. And she's, that's the one movie I didn't see talking about Solo. So, oh no, you're hurting me. So let's say hi to our friend Mo. What's up, yo? And Amy Guerra, who's 6 hours ahead and still doing the workday. Weird timing for Disney Plus. Yeah, again, weird timing. Okay, so let's, before we jump into what wasn't announced and the Kenobi thing, what we did get was this Under the Helmet Legacy of Boba Fett 20 minutes kind of behind the scenes documentary. Did you get a chance to watch it? Overall thoughts on it?
I was about to click play and saw it was 5:30. Well, because the show starts, I'm in Puerto Rico, it starts at 6, so it was 4:30 for you. So
sorry.
I was like, nope.
Yeah. So I won't spoil anything, but again, it's a documentary. There's nothing to spoil. It's very good. I was kind of, we're going to see pictures of Boba Fett. There's the whole story, how the character was created. There was supposed to be the super troopers that they wanted for Empire Strikes Back. They didn't have the budget to do 100. George Lucas wanted to do 100 Boba Fett's out there, all white. they show how they found some guy that matched that suit. So he's the one that walked out for that presentation. And then George Lucas went like, okay, we don't have the budgets. We'll do one. I'll create a bounty hunter. And then Joe Johnston went, okay, I'll paint him green, but first silver, so then I can make the scratches. And just a creative process behind it. It's awesome. Again, for my favorite character that's 30 years later is getting his own series, to go from we don't have the money, let's just make him a bounty hunter and create this character almost out of thin air. It's great to see this.
Yeah.
And then
I'm dying to see it because it looks great. And the trailer they put out, which is weird. Why would you put out a trailer for the documentary? You just put out that same day?
Yeah, I didn't watch the trailer because it's right there. Why?
Yeah,
they do this great.
I'm gonna watch it for sure.
Yeah, they do this great thing for Jeremy Bullock when he came in. Daniel Logan is there. There's a little bit with Tamura Morrison, and then jumping into Book of Boba Fett. So,
cool.
After this, go check it out. It's 20 minutes, 21 minutes, so it doesn't take too much. And it's a nice look back at Boba Fett and what to expect coming next. But okay, so the big thing that a lot of us were expecting was Kenobi, right? We were expecting to get a Kenobi trailer, which sounds weird saying that we're getting a Kenobi trailer. Because I always thought that Andor was a little bit farther ahead in development than Kenobi, because last year we got a sizzle reel for Andor, so I thought maybe a trailer for that and then Kenobi. But like we said plenty of times today, we got a Kenobi sizzle reel that got leaked, or not leaked, it was unfortunately tweeted out the day before. That show it's now on the screen. We got to show Deborah Chow. We saw Ewan McGregor talking about coming back to the character, having to face again Vader, how great it is to be back on set with Hayden Christensen. And we got some great concept art. So on Friday, the fandom was on cloud 9 with this 1 minute kind of behind the scenes, the concept art. Everyone went nuts. Was that underwater facility? Look at Anakin and Vader. I mean, Kenobi and Vader going at it again. Is that an Inquisitor? Is that the second sister? Who the hell is that? And then yesterday, everything dropped.
Yep.
But before we talk about fan expectations, just that sizzle reel, when you watched it on Friday, mind blown?
Oh, yes. So if Obi-Wan's your favorite character, or if Boba Fett's your favorite character, Obi-Wan's my favorite character. I've been waiting for an Obi-Wan movie since they announced the acquisition. I remember they said it's a trilogy and 3 spin-offs, and I'm please want to be about Kenobi. When we weren't getting news about what the 3rd spin-off was going to be after the Solo debacle.
Whoa.
No, I love Solo, but real world things that it didn't bomb, but it didn't do that well in the box office. So the 3rd spinoff got indefinitely delayed, and then it turned into a show. We
heard that before.
Yeah, maybe we'll get a Rogue Squadron TV show someday. But yeah, so I remember I was so upset that we weren't getting news on a movie and a TV show. I wrote my own script, which I'll talk about in my podcast as we get closer to the show. But yeah, I wrote my own script and stopped the day they announced that Ewan McGregor was coming back to the role. So I'm so excited. I love seeing Deborah Chow talk about Obi-Wan. I love seeing Ewan talk about Obi-Wan. Loved the concept art. And yeah, I'm ready for the trailer.
Trailer, when are you coming? So let's talk about the concept art real quick. Because even Deborah Chow said there are Jedi hunters out there. I think before Inquisitors became Inquisitors, they were just called Jedi hunters in all the behind-the-scenes book and all these art of movies out there. And then, of course, they put out this concept art of an Inquisitor coming down the ramp, flanked by stormtroopers, and it looks like the second sister from Jedi Fallen Order. Some people are saying, yeah, that's Trilla. Others are saying, oh, would it be cool if it's Barry Sophie? And some others, oh, that's just a placeholder, which is fine. Hey, we need an Inquisitor. This is the one we have. Just put it there for the concept art. So now we know we're getting Inquisitors. There's a few of the cast that have said that they're wielding lightsabers.
Yeah.
Do you think this is a known character or a new character that we're getting, a new Inquisitor?
So I kind of hope it's Neil.
Mm-hmm.
If it's returning Inquisitors, fine, cool. Yeah, I'm on board. If it's Trilla, I don't know if it timeline wise it works. I think you're having Connor on the show sometime. So
yeah, he'll be here in about 2 or 3 weeks. But Lauren there, she's telling us 3 who have been killed at this point, which I think is true.
Perfect.
I haven't played Jedi Fallen Order. I've seen the
You
whole
haven't
cinematic.
what?
No,
How
dude,
do I get you up to
I
speed?
have get me a new console. I have a 2010 or 2009 Xbox 360 and a Nintendo Wii. That's what I have. Sorry.
Oh my god. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, I know. At some point, the thing is, I've been this close, but then my kids, every time I'll turn it on, my kids will come in. I wanna play, and then I'll be playing Animal Crossing or something.
Great game.
Yeah.
So okay, Trilla, I love that character. I love what that character is. She's fantastic. She's a great villain. So apparently she can't be on the show. Then she's not on the show. I don't know.
Man, it's Star Wars. Just because you're dead doesn't mean
weirder
you're
things
dead.
have happened. So Darth Maul got chopped in half, and here we are talking if it's getting an animated show.
He was supposed. I was waiting for that announcement yesterday. It didn't come. But yeah. So and Lauren adds definitely will be an Inquisitor. We know from Rebels meetings. It'll be great. It's the seventh sister and what is it? The fifth brother, I think, are the ones from Rebels, and then the one that goes flying out that came out at the end. So yeah. It'll be great, I think, if it's one from Rebels because we're familiar with it. Kenobi is going to appeal to everyone that's a fan of Star Wars that just watched the movies 20 years ago, and everyone has been following it. So give us an Inquisitor we know. It's going to be great to connect those. And if they have the helicopter lightsabers and they just come flying down, that on live action is going to be nuts. Because
it's going to be ridiculous, but fun.
The first time you see that on Rebels, it's like, really? Really, you're flying? Well, let's see that now. Oh, man, you thought Vader was a dramatic diva out there, just come flying down. It would be nuts. Then, of course, the big one is Kenobi and Darth Vader fighting. Looks like Mustafar. Yeah. Some people are on the fence. Should Kenobi leave Tatooine? And should they even fight? Is this a Force vision or something? Where do you fall on that spectrum? Do you want Kenobi to... not want, but do you think Kenobi is going to face Vader in real time, or is it going to be a vision?
Oh, yes, 100%. It's real time. Like they're actually going to fight.
So you have Kenobi leaving Tatooine saying to Owen,
100%.
Take care of the kid, I'll be back.
I don't think we spend 4 episodes in Tatooine.
Yeah.
I think it'll be
Has it been confirmed there's going to be 4 episodes? I know those were rumors a while back, but I don't know.
I heard 6.
6?
Yeah.
I mean, 4, 6, if they're at least 1 hour, I'm fine with it.
Oh, sure. If it's 30-minute episodes and it's 4.
No, but if you get 6 episodes, 1 hour each, you got a trilogy there.
Yeah, 100%. I'm hoping it's like that.
Yeah, I don't know about this. Amy's adding, I want Kenobi to leave Tatooine. I want him to encounter little Leia too. And that's something I've seen out there a lot, is people wanting for there to be a cast of that. They get cast young Luke, which is going to happen, a young Leia. I mean, if you have Kenobi going to Alderaan to meet with Bail and little Leia is there, oh man!
My heart would melt on the spot. So I see a lot of people saying like it wouldn't make sense for Obi-Wan to leave, but although I see him leaving, I don't think he voluntarily leaves.
Okay.
I think it's kind of against his will, or like he has to leave and he's like, okay, I'll be right back. Just nothing happened over here.
I mean, maybe Bail calls him, because by the time of Rogue One, he's like, yeah, I will trust him with my life. Maybe something happens between Revenge. Yes, there are plenty of time. Real quick, going back to Jedi Fallen Order, Lauren is saying that she double checking happens 5 years post Revenge of the Sith, and then Kenobi, I believe, is 10 years.
Yeah,
and she also thinks that Leia is going to be more of a focus than Luke. Again, that's something I never thought about, but I do welcome it.
I don't think I don't think neither of them will be the focus. That's just me.
Yeah.
I honestly, I would love that scene. I don't think we see Leia, and I don't even think we see Bail. As much of that,
I don't know.
would break my heart. I don't know.
I would love to see Bale with Breha because Breha is such
that
a
would be
great
cool. That
character.
would be cool.
If they go to Alderaan for some reason and Bale is there, Breha has to be there, not just carrying Leia.
Yeah,
There has to be some meat to her being there.
She's a good character. We know from the books and everything.
All right, so let's get on it because we might have different perspectives. So, no trailer for Kenobi. We just saw a 1-year-old sizzle reel, which I wouldn't call it a sizzle reel, but a 1-year-old video, a minute and a half, that was shown to investors 11 months ago or almost a year ago.
Have we confirmed it's the same video? It makes sense. It would make sense. But
so from what I've heard from everyone out there, which we've seen this week, that means nothing if it doesn't come from official sources. But everyone that has been saying that this is what was shown last year.
Okay.
So I know that it being spoiled the day before kind of messes everything up. But was it enough, again, on the biggest day for your platform that you're trying to get new investors, like you mentioned, after your new subscriber count went down or didn't reach expectations? It didn't went down. It still got billions of subscribers, so they'll be fine. Is a 1-year-old video enough, or should they have shown more?
Should they have shown more? Regarding Kenobi, I don't think so. I think that if we got a little bit more of everything else, then this sizzle reel wouldn't have sat as it did with fans. If we got more here and there. Sure. So in a vacuum, I think the Kenobi sizzle reel is fine. For a show that we still don't have a date for. Because people say May, but unless it's on StarWars.com, I don't think so. And that's just me. If you want to believe the scoops, go ahead. It's totally fine.
I mean, I like Han Solo said, you wouldn't believe me. I mean, you'll believe me, but what happened tomorrow? I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, what happened yesterday?
Yeah. So, in a vacuum, I think that the Kenobi sizzle is fine. What I am very disappointed, nothing on the Bad Batch. And as the day went on, I don't think they had to do that much. Just Marvel, people are clamoring what Marvel did. They put out new logos of the same shows we already knew. They put out logos for new shows with no context of what they are. And to see new footage, you had to go to Disney Plus and watch this sizzle reel and the last 5 minutes brand new footage without
2.5 minutes.
Because we get that extended Hawkeye.
Yeah, okay.
Which was very cool, by the way. So the bar wasn't that high. So in a way, and we can get into everything deeper later, but I was like, why didn't you just put out new logos?
Yeah.
Just do it. Remind people, hey, an Andor show is coming out this year with Diego Luna. Bad Batch, that show you all loved, except Alberto for some reason. It's getting a second season.
I'm going to kick you out again.
It's getting a second season this year, next year. So why not do that? Fine, maybe don't talk about the Lando show, which we know nothing about. Maybe don't talk about the Acolyte, which we know nothing about. But just remind people what's coming next year, and not even that. Mandalorian, it's one of the most popular streaming shows ever, and you could just put on a logo that says season 3.
So something like this, because I have two. I put my marketing kind of advertising hat, and I'll say it again, and I'll put a. So I went to University of Puerto Rico for my bachelor's degree, business administration, marketing. I did my master's degree in la Universidad del Sagrado Corazón for advertising. So I would say, okay, at the same time, I worked exactly 0 days in marketing or in advertising.
Okay.
So I had the school knowledge, not actual knowledge. So whatever, I'm not a advertiser, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But after everything went down yesterday, I had two options, which all the footage that we already have, that you can still do this and not do anything extra, and it would have killed. And this is hoping that nothing gets leaked the day before, because I think that hurt a lot. If we see that just on Saturday, people have been as excited as they were on Friday. So two things. And one is because we saw when Disney Plus Day started, it started with The Rock and Emily Blunt for 2 minutes, and then the Jungle Cruise was the next tweet. We also had Amy Adams and Patrick Dempsey, which got everything, talking about their new movie, and then not even a trailer, just a title card. We also, guys, the two dudes working in this Chipmunk movie or whatever deal, and a title card or a poster, and everyone loved that. You couldn't get Ewan and Hayden together for 2 minutes to talk about coming together and then just releasing the sizzle reel. That's enough. So this is, you mentioned the Marvel stuff. So I'm gonna give you two options. I'm in my AC, the Alberto Calderon marketing office. I'm gonna present you with two proposals. One is a little bit more expensive than the other, but you don't need any new footage. So you just talk about Marvel doing this 14-minute video, and only 2.5 or 3 minutes was new footage. Everything else was just recapping everything that they've put out on Disney Plus. You can do a 10-minute video because there's less Star Wars live action, just recapping Mando Season 1, Clone Wars Season 7, Vision, The Bad Batch, Mandalorian Season 2. When Mando Season 2, you ended talking about Boba Fett. Boom, here's the trailer for Boba Fett. You don't show it at the beginning of November. You wait till now. Kills.
I would have waited. 100%.
Exactly. After that ends, you can have the sizzle reel for Kenobi. You don't need to get Ewan and Hayden. Face to black, you just hear Ewan McGregor talking about being back for the character. You get the sizzle reel. That's enough. And then if you want, you put the title cards of everything that's coming. So that's a 10-minute video with no new footage. It would have been enough. That's a little expensive. It's a 10-minute video. You also mentioned title cards for Marvel. I did this morning. So you can have I didn't go the whole way because I didn't want to grab the whole 1 minute thing. But you can do the sizzle reel for Kenobi, which also just show parts of it, right? It's this, you got the sizzle reel. Deborah Chow is coming, oh man, look at Darth Vader, he's back. And he's swinging the lightsaber. How cool is that? I can't wait for it to come out. Oh, and he's talking about being back with Hayden Christensen. The fans are going to go nuts. And then you have this, a little Book of Boba Fett coming December 2021. Then you go with Kenobi, spring 2022. Again, no new footage. We've seen this before. Bad Batch Season 2, summer 2022. What's next? Andor, fall 2022. And then you finish up with Mandalorian Season 3, winter 2022. No new footage. Everything that we've seen before is the way you present it. It's the same thing. And we wouldn't have been having this discussion. That's my thought.
Yeah.
Which one do you like?
I think people would still be upset that we didn't get an Andor trailer also. And I get it. It's fine. But yeah, like remind people that this is all coming to your platform like Marvel did. I mean, again, Marvel didn't do that much. They just put new versions of the same poster.
But it's still, people talked about it because, like you said, there was nothing else.
It was a bare minimum. And, you know, I see people slamming Lucasfilm for this, and who knows who's at fault. But at a certain point, like, people have to remember Marvel and Lucasfilm, they're the same company. And this doesn't happen in a vacuum. Like, it's not like, oh, wacky Kathy, she didn't bring anything for the presentation. Oh, well, like, if I'm Bob Chapek, and no, give me the title cards, like, or make one like right now.
I
And
love what Lauren is saying here, that she does agree, but if Marvel is doing the same thing, then people will complain. Yes, again, oh, there's no creativity. They're just doing the same thing. And before I want you to continue, Amy is adding that she sees how production staff strikes may release that a bit questionable. 100%. That's something I didn't even think about. But just a little footage to build hype. Marvel promo did so much with those 10 seconds. But yeah.
and you know what? If you don't have anything to show, why hype it up? Like that's
Because
like
the
my
Star Wars
main
Twitter
thing.
account, I think, said,
They
get
hyped it
ready.
up. They really did. And that same fine, it's corporate synergy. Everyone's gonna tweet out the same thing, but why hype it up? Like
Yeah, so there's two things I want to add. So it's brand awareness. And this is something because I'm going to see whatever they put out. Even there's no trailer or anything, it's Star Wars, I'm going to watch it. You're going to watch it. People out there watching this show are going to watch it. That's why a lot of people say, I don't need more trailers. It's Star Wars. You got me hooked. I'm going to watch it. But you need to keep awareness of your brand, not for us. You've got us hook, line, and sinker. We're there, the early adopters. We're going to watch anything Star Wars. But at the same time, we say Star Wars is for everyone. New fans, old fans, and Star Wars is for kids. Not everyone is on Twitter 20 hours a day doing YouTube shows or podcasts. People don't know everything that's coming out. And I know Star Wars Celebration is for the bigger things. And I expect Star Wars Celebration to kill. Not everyone is going to go to that. I'm not going. Of course, I see it that same day where it gets posted, but that's more for the hardcore fans like us that just want to consume everything. Again, Disney Plus Day is to build your brand. And if you're not using Star Wars as part of it, then I think it suffers for the casual fans and for the new fans. My wife doesn't know anything that's coming out, so she watches the movies, and she saw me watching the Kenobi trailer, sizzle reel on my TV, which is a lot better than the computer, same as the Boba Fett trailer. But if you don't keep that brand awareness for bringing new fans, unfortunately, it's going to suffer. And that's, I don't want that, because a lot of people are also saying, oh, Star Wars should feel special, keep it more for special events. Yes, that's 30 years ago. Unfortunately, bought by Disney and with everything that they're doing, it
it's
needs to
part of the
adapt.
machine.
Yeah,
It's part of the
it's
machine.
part of the machine. It needs to adapt to new fans. I know, because people, and also people out there, and I used to be the same. Oh, I remember just seeing a trailer for the first time at the movie theater for something that was coming in 2 weeks. That's not the time we're living now.
Milk used to cost 25 cents.
I mean, movie was $5. I spent like 15 going to Eternals.
It's still cheap over here, but
Still,
yeah,
man, I gotta go back.
yeah. The IMAX is $14.
Yeah. Oh man, I even forgot what I was talking about. But
We're talking about brand awareness.
yeah. So again, I think as Star Wars evolves to bring in more content and more fans, the way it gets promoted needs to change. Yeah, we grew up with Star Wars every 3 years and then a 20-year gap. That's not the way things work now. You wait 20, look at Avatar. Who cares about 5 Avatar movies? The biggest movie in the world, right? It beat everyone. It didn't have the cultural impact that Star Wars had, and that's separate. But if we want Star Wars to be this massive thing, then it needs to change the way it promotes itself. If Lucasfilm, and I know Lucasfilm does 20 different things, not just Star Wars, I'm just interchanging the names here. If it wants to keep Star Wars just special for a smaller group and niche, okay, that's fine. But then we need to change the way we talk about it. That is for everyone. No, it's just for a certain group, like it was when it came out. That just doesn't work anymore. And I know comparing it to the MCU doesn't work all the time. But at the same time, that's what everyone is doing now. You don't need to do what they're doing, but Marvel is at the top. And even though the brand, everyone knows Marvel, they still promote their stuff 24/7, and it works for them.
So, counterpoint.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm supposed to argue today.
No, I agree with most of what you're saying, but you know, the tweet I put it out yesterday, what I was referring to, like, if we could argue the whole thing about random people coming in to see Mandalorian, for example.
Mm-hmm.
The whole marketing things, especially TV shows, like a month in advance, it's clearly working for them.
Yeah,
Because they did it for
it
both
is.
seasons of The Mandalorian, and it's still one of the biggest shows on streaming of all time. So I think they're not so concerned with it, but so like, and that's specifically talking about getting a trailer.
Mhm.
But I do agree with you that, especially with Star Wars, they didn't do enough in the whole thing, and it's what I mentioned. Just remind people what's coming down the
Yeah.
pipeline, because I don't fear at all for the Kenobi show, because it's gonna have Darth Vader, probably one of the biggest villains in movie history. Like, people are gonna see that show.
Mhm.
People know who Obi-Wan Kenobi is. Andor, I don't know. Us Latinos, they see Diego Luna and we go crazy.
Yeah.
So yeah, they have the Latino fan base, but I don't know if my cousins are gonna go like, oh, Rogue One spin-off
Mhm.
show, isn't he dead? Like,
Yeah.
And I don't know, man. I don't know.
Yeah, I think banking of it's Star Wars, people are gonna watch it. That's not the way the world works right now in terms of entertainment. Like yesterday, I didn't talk crap. I had my issues with what happened. I got home. We watched Jungle Cruise. We watched all the Olaf stuff that they put up. The Ciao Alberto from Luca and Shanji. So Disney Plus Day and everything that they released, great. It worked, but nothing Star Wars. I watched the Boba Fett thing at 11 o'clock at night. No one else, everyone at my house was sleeping. And there was nothing else Star Wars that people knew about. So it's again, just because you have us hardcore fans, I think you're going to start losing, because unfortunately we're seeing some fans kind of that just talk crap and are slowly leaving. If you don't find a way to bring in new fans, then Star Wars is not going to be this great thing or that it used to be, I think. And I think I'm going a little bit too far, but I don't know.
I'll pose one question, and we don't know the answer. Could it, and maybe the whole MCU thing throws it off, but could there be a scenario where Disney went, you know what, the Star Wars content is extremely popular, it's bringing in fans consistently, maybe we have to emphasize more the other things that are coming, and that meaning the Disney properties, the I don't know, the National Geographic properties they announced. Could there be a scenario where that happen? Maybe whoever's in charge went like, you know what, we don't need to expose Star Wars that much for this specific day.
Sure.
Let's just push, because I do believe there's a trailer. Like, everyone was talking about it, so there has to be a trailer somewhere.
Mhm.
So could there be a situation where they went like, I don't think we need to promote Star Wars that hard right now. We just released the Boba Fett trailer. We can release this sizzle reel. Oh, it leaked yesterday. Oh, that sucks. I don't know. Could that have happened?
Like you said,
Something
we'll
happened.
never know.
Something happened.
My 2 cents, because some people have been saying, oh, the trailer was there because a lot of people were told that it was coming. And then there was that video at the end that showed title cards for Andor and for Bad Batch Season 2 saying, oh, they was there, they just pulled it last minute. I think this is such a big event that they've been planning forever to last minute say, we're going to pull everything Star Wars. Then that's a problem. That's a problem with your brand 100%. And I'm hoping that that wasn't the case. You don't pull something out that quickly. I'm thinking. To your point, I think if that was the case, then they would have done the same with the MCU. Even though they were just title cards, I think everything else got enough attention to build some momentum, except Star Wars. 3 tweets and that was it. Yep. We can argue all day about the content, but just 3 tweets between, I don't know what was the first one, and between Cars, that people were talking more about Cars than Star Wars just because of where it was put. I think that was the problem. And I forgot the other thing I was going to say. I don't know. There's something out there. We'll see. Oh, I know, because Lauren said, yes, both Marvel and Lucasfilm are under Disney, but run differently. It is what it is.
Yeah, they're different. They are different companies.
Yeah, and they have, again, speculating responsibly, but knowing a little bit about advertising agencies and stuff like that, even though they fall under that Disney brand, I'm sure they have different marketing and advertising teams. The team,
100%.
that group, and this might be off source. I'm sure Disney has their in-source advertising department. They might outsource it to someone,
Also,
and
yes.
maybe they are dropping the ball, and maybe they're under contract, and after 3 years they can change it. It's difficult for me to comprehend. Again, we don't deserve anything. What they're giving us is fine. I'm just talking as an outsider, that the MCU can promote 3 television shows and a movie, or 2 movies and 2 television shows at the same time: Shang-Chi, Eternals, What If, and Hawkeye. And Star Wars needs to wait till the Bad Batch ends to say something about the next show. That to me doesn't make sense. And now some Star Wars fans say, oh, that's fine because we don't want to be saturated. I get it. That's us, because we're going to watch it. Like you said, other people out there don't know what's coming. I think they need to change the way they promote themselves.
In a way, I think it also has to do with how the MCU is structured, because sometimes the MCU movies turn more into what the next movie is gonna be, what the next step, like Eternals. Nobody's really talking about Eternals. People are talking about what it means for the rest of the universe. You are. I like that movie, by the way. I
loved it.
I didn't love it, but I liked it.
Well.
Thing is, I'm a huge fan of the Eternals, so
Okay.
they changed some things here and there that they really didn't sit well with me. But I really like the movie.
I wasn't that
not a negative
familiar.
review at
I
all.
knew the names. I know some of them, the bigger Celestials, but I didn't know anything about Eternal. So I went blind, and that's why I loved it.
If you look closely in my bookshelf, you can see I have a massive book about Jack Kirby. So
Okay.
he's like my god. So I'm a huge
We can
fan of
pick him.
everything he does. But I think because you're right. The MCU is constantly like spitting content, and here's a trailer, here's the next thing.
Yeah.
And Star Wars, I think, since they are not telling this massive overarching story, at the
For
end
now.
of the day, it is like this one story, but everything's like in its own section. And I think in that way they choose to take one thing at a time. It's not, and I honestly really like that. Like, hey, we're watching the Bad Batch. It's all about the Bad Batch, and it sucks if you don't really like that show, because then it's all about that. But I really like that approach. I don't know why, but it really works for me. And I think it goes back to how Star Wars used to be. Like, we're getting a new movie. It's all about Revenge of the Sith. And it's like a micro version of that. And I really like it. And this is coming from a diehard fan who's going to watch everything, who's going to read everything. So it works for me.
Yeah. I think I agree to an extent. I think also there's always this conflicting kind of messages out there. On one end, I think it was Bob Chapek or someone that said, yeah, we're going to put a little break on Star Wars. We don't want to saturate it. We learn. Yes. But on the other end, last year, look at these 10 shows we're doing. And I think that also builds up expectations, where last year we got 10 shows announced. It's been a whole year, and we've only seen Bad Batch and a trailer for Boba Fett for all those 10 shows. So I think that kind of, you said you had all those things planned, nothing is still there, and you canceled or delayed this movie. I think the timing for Rogue Squadron to get canceled kind of messed up.
Yeah. No, it's I think it all melded together into this whole big thing.
Yeah.
And you know what? I think I went into Investor Day without expectations. I had no idea what it was going to be about. And we got 11 shows announced. And then we got 2 movies announced. One we had heard of before. And we were like, whoa. And here's Lucasfilm again promoting this Disney event. And we're like, oh my God, it's going to be huge. So, I was a bit sarcastic about it. And I want to make it clear, I was bummed out. Like, yes, I laughed at everything. It's, I was honestly in shock. But I understand people, John Hoey from Resistance Broadcast, he tweeted out like, hey, I pay for Disney Plus. I want to know what's coming out for the streaming show that I pay for.
Yeah.
And I'm like, definitely, yes. What I'm very upset about, though, it's that entitlement mentality. And what's driving me crazy is the Spider-Man thing. Like, we just got a trailer for Spider-Man.
2 weeks ago.
Massive fan-pleasing trailer, and you're all mad because we haven't got a second one, and the movie's like a month out. Like, dude, just wait. Like, I don't know, and maybe that's me, but sometimes I feel like people are more excited for trailers than the actual piece of content.
Yeah. So I want to touch on that on something you mentioned before. And yes, this Spider-Man thing, 100%. I almost tweeted out yesterday, oh, now I know how the Spider-Man trailer people feel expecting this and it doesn't show up. And now I saw they're going to get something on Monday, I think, where the new trailer is going to drop. Sorry?
I think it's Tuesday.
Monday, Tuesday, whatever, sometime next week. Special event, as always. You gotta make a special event. And I'll give props to Lauren because she tweeted out earlier today about the MCU. There's too much content out there. If you don't consume everything, are you lost? And you also saying people are just watching this because they want to know what the next one is. And I remember, I don't know if it was Age of Ultron or which MCU movie years ago. I went to it so quickly because I wanted to watch someone else's recap of the movie. So I was more interested in the recap than in watching the actual movie. And yes, that's a big problem. And we don't want Star Wars to get to that point because we have Mando, Boba Fett, Ahsoka, all that is supposed to work together to find throne or whatever it is. And if we go into it, just what's going to be the big reveal at the end, then yeah, that's a problem. And we got to stop that quick. But the entitlement, and I know, I'll keep saying, I complained yesterday a lot. I don't know if complaint is the right word, but I made my voice known. And I hope it didn't come out as an entitlement because I'm not, again, as a Star Wars fan, we don't deserve that they show us what I want right now. And I know a lot of people in the Star Wars Twitter community were kind of hinting at that, like we don't deserve stuff just because the trailer didn't show what you want. You gotta shut up, basically, same as the Spider-Man people. My big thing is, again, thinking about outside my four walls, the other Star Wars fans or the Disney fans, because this is your big day. It's called Disney Plus Day when you're gonna show everything that's coming, and you don't do anything for one of your top 5 brands because you have Disney, Pixar. It's right there in the title, in that whatever those 5 things that you show up. And you don't give anything, and to be able to watch the sizzle reel, you gotta go to the Disney Plus app to watch it. It's like, doesn't make sense.
Yeah. So apart from the fact that the whole event was a mess, and we already talked about it, I do agree. Like, yes, I have a problem with the entitlement mentality, but talking about how, hey, this is your big franchise, I totally agree. It was not represented properly. That's a problem, and I do agree with that.
All right, so as we start wrapping up, it's a great talk. We could keep talking more about it. So let's go to one of our favorite segments, Rebel Thoughts. When I hear, you want to say something?
PSA. People, talk to each other. Don't scream at each other through Twitter. Just
what do they say? Go outside and touch grass.
Because maybe someone could have thought that Alberto and me were at odds, and I was like, "Ha, take that! You didn't get a trailer."
That's what they tuned in today.
We're all basically in the same page. Just
it's from a place of love. We want to be out there.
We all love Star Wars.
And at least you can say that after this show, we're not Star Wars shields or Disney shield. They're not paying us. I mean, if they want to, I'll take it. I'll be a shield. I don't care. I
got my check this morning.
Oh man, I gotta talk to you after this. All right, so Rebel Thoughts. Let's see what you guys are saying. Rebel Thoughts. Yes, we are rebels, and our friend Jedi Geek Girl out there, she says, do you think, despite the success of the Mandoverse, Disney Lucasfilm is experiencing shrinkage or a stutter in Star Wars when it comes to its fan base, strictly in the context, and that's a lot, let me go back, strictly in the context of live action, TV and films? Also can't wait till our December 4th episode together. It's been too long. She'll be here on December 4th. We're going to talk about the Expanded Universe and Legends books. It's going to give us a bunch of recommendations. I know almost nothing, so this is going to be a cool one. So I'll throw this to you. Do you think Star Wars, and we kind of talked about it's faltering a little bit with their live action plan. Rogue Squadron got delayed. We don't know if there's a new movie coming out. Nothing really has been promoted apart from the Mandoverse. Are they trying to figure out how to move forward with their live action?
I think so. But so okay, yes, I think so. I don't think they're quite sure where they want to go with the movies, and it's natural when you just concluded probably the biggest story ever told of 40 years, apart from maybe All My Children or something. But
General Hospital. So.
General Hospital. But yeah, I think they're struggling. Like we've seen all these changes, and this person's doing this, and oh no, not anymore. So I think maybe. But I also see it a mistake as saying like despite the Mandoverse, because the Mandoverse is so big and it's currently waving the Star Wars flag. I have people in my office who never seen Star Wars who saw Mandalorian.
Yeah. I have a Mandalorian. I think that, man, I'm sucking today my words. A lanyard, a Mandalorian lanyard for work for my ID. I do a lot of inspections of different places. I was walking through inspection. This for like 2 or 3 people. Oh, I love your lanyard. I love it. It's just Baby Yoda, of course.
Just today, I was at the eye doctor. I have contact lenses, and the person who was attending me, she had like this spray bottle with hand sanitizer.
Yeah,
and it was like in a Baby Yoda pouch. And I'm like, oh, you like Star Wars? And she's like, oh no, he's just so cute. I'm like, okay,
it works. It works
perfectly. So yeah, it's like, and that's just the way I feel. Like we can't say like, oh, if you put aside the Mandalorian, no, we can't put it aside. It's like the biggest thing. Like, it's like saying like in 2015, if you put aside Force Awakens, Star Wars isn't really that popular. Like, well, and another mistake I think we make is we see what the Force Awakens did. It's the biggest movie in U.S. history, and it's one of the biggest movies of all time. And I think we all thought that was the bar. That was the peak. And I don't think it's ever gonna reach that like top level. So people use diminishing returns in the movies as like a bullet to shoot at Star Wars. I just think that it just peaked, and it's not downhill from there, but in a way, we're maybe like in a plane now.
I mean, but out of the 5 movies, 4 of them made $1 billion at least. So even Solo made 300 or something.
Solo made a bunch of money. It just cost a lot of money.
It's one of those, something you thought you never say, is that Star Wars kind of indie movie, kind of that people are now rediscovering. But I do agree it's hard to say without Mandalorian or Mandoverse, because that's mostly everything live action. But movie-wise, unfortunately, we just talked about Solo. There were a lot of issues with Solo. There were a lot of issues, and this is all hearsay because I don't know. A lot of issues with Rogue One, Rise of Skywalker. We know all the different directors were supposed to be there. So there's been issues. Now Rogue Squadron gets delayed. So I think they're faltering, but I think they're learning, because Rogue One, they brought a director to reshoot the ending, but still Gareth Edwards got to do what he do. Solo, sorry, they got kicked out, and halfway through it, and then do you bring Ron Howard? Rise of Skywalker calling Trevorrow, no, your treatment doesn't work, unfortunately, probably because he couldn't figure out what to do with Leia with Carrie Fisher passing. So let's bring the JJ back and rush it. And a lot of people complain about that. Right now, at least they said, okay, we're not ready for this. We're not going to bring another director. They just put it in the back for now. So yeah, it sucks, but I think they're learning from their mistakes. And sometimes we don't give them enough credit to kind of, okay, we've learned. Let's just wait and see if we can do something else.
I just hope when the next movie comes out, unless it bombs, like it makes $200,000 at the box office, it bombs. Unless that happens, stick to the plan. Stick to what you were doing. Like, I don't want suddenly like we're getting 3 Star Wars movies and they're all extremely different directions. We can tell 3 different stories at the same time, but let's focus in. Like let's tell the new generation of stories,
all right,
rather than spitballing everywhere.
So let's finish up. I got 2 comments, and I have one last question. We'll finish up. So Amy is adding, Baby Yoda is the only Star Wars that some of my young students know about. Excellent. And then I'm hoping they put the movies on the back burner for a bit and focus on the shows. I would love more animated Star Wars. Right there, a lot of people feel the same way. So I'm gonna ask, and I forgot. So give me a. I'm gonna talk till I remember about what did you say? Talking about the shows and the movie. Just work with the. I don't know. Crap, I forgot. I lost my train of thought, and it's something I have written down.
I
Excuse me. I'm gonna look at my phone real quick. I have some notes here.
I'm just gonna mention a Mo's
Yeah.
comment. I sometimes think that as Star Wars fans, we deserve to be punished for a couple of years. um, but I kind of agree. Like, I would be okay if we were getting consistent shows consistently throughout the years, and maybe
Yeah.
we take like a 5-year break from the movies. But it's already been 2 years since Rise of Skywalker, which it's totally fine. But like, we're not getting a new movie next year, so that'll be 3 years. In 2023 would be hard, so that would be 4 years.
Yeah.
Like, how long is the hiatus gonna be? Is it gonna be, like from 10 years, like from Revenge of the Sith to Force Awakens? I hope so. I hope it's not, but
Yeah. Also, I mean, at the
who
way
knows?
it's going, we'll see. And I remember, do you think there's an issue with Star Wars at this point working in so many different time eras at the same time? Especially if let's say the Old Republic movie rumor is true. We have the Old Republic movie, we have the whole High Republic publishing, we have comics and shows still in the original trilogy era, we have Mandoverse, which is after the original trilogy, and then maybe they'll do something post-sequel trilogy. We have like 5 different timelines, time eras going at the same time. Is that confusing for people out there?
I think currently it's not, but that's why I mentioned stick to one thing when you make
Yeah.
the next movie, because I think it could be.
Yeah.
Because, and I hope this isn't what's happening, but maybe they had everything planned to relaunch the movie verse of Star Wars, and then saw the smash hit that High Republic has been. Because
Yeah.
YouTubers will say whatever they want. These books have all been in the New York Times top sellers, and
Yeah, and the
they've been
comics,
for a
they're
couple
all
of
in the
weeks. Yeah,
tops.
everything. So it's been a success. So maybe they're looking at it and they're like, maybe we could, exploit this as a movie. And that's like kind of worrisome to me, that they keep on doing other things here and there in books, comics, shows. And then when it's time to make a movie, there's like this clash of no, let's follow up on this. No, let's follow up on that.
Yeah.
And
So let's just hit what's hot now. And that's what people don't want. Don't get the hot director. Don't get the hot, just follow, stick to the plan.
I think that when it comes to movies, that's when the biggest problems can happen, because there's people like my dad. They're not gonna watch the Bad Batch. They're not gonna read the books. They'll watch the Disney Plus live action shows, but they're not like paying attention to anything else. But if you start making movies and then start telling 3 trilogies at the same time of different things, that's when it could get like very convoluted.
Do you think, this will be my last question for you, probably till I think of something else. Do you think when whatever next movie that we get, do you think it's gonna be another trilogy or just one and done?
As a kid, my dad always told me Star Wars comes in threes. So I hope it's a trilogy. I think it'll be a one shot, and if it blows it out of the park, then we'll get a second one. I think they're going back to a much more standard movie making model.
Okay.
And that could be a problem. Maybe it's not.
We'll see. I'm on the side that I would, and this is not just a Star Wars. I know it's not a problem, but everything out there now has to be a trilogy. And I don't think everything needs to be a trilogy. Just because it worked for Star Wars and the Lord of the Rings, we don't need 3 of everything. There's a 3-act structure. You can do that in one movie. You don't need to call it a Star Wars story, make it a standalone. But sometimes just do a concise story, beginning to end in one movie. We're done. Let's move to the next thing.
And you know what? To your point, I'll just say this. I think the prequel trilogy could have benefited from 4 movies. I think the sequel trilogy could have maybe benefited from 4 movies. That's
yes, but 4 movies doesn't make sense in the way
No,
movies are made.
because Star Wars is in that box
Yeah.
of 3 movies.
And they put them.
But the main reason I mentioned the prequels is like George got to Revenge of the Sith, and he was like, "Here's all these things I want to do. Oh, we don't have time to do them."
Yeah.
Okay.
And I mean, even though the prequel trilogy is not my favorite trilogy, for me, it has the best story. I said this before, and Revenge of the Sith at the moment is my favorite movie. World building in the prequel trilogies, the tops out there, maybe expanded, maybe in between everything they did in Clone Wars, or maybe extend Anakin's fall, or now starting as Darth Vader. So things we'll never get to see, unfortunately.
Nope.
So thank you, Oti, as always, for being here. We'll get you back, even though many people expected us to go at it. We'll get you back at some point later, maybe for our end of the year bash, which I don't know what I'm gonna do, but I'll have
I want to be for the sequel trilogy trivia. I suck at the prequel ones, but I want to be in the sequel trilogy one.
So I know
I'll study, I promise.
Mo wants to be in in Rogue One, but it's gonna be Rogue One and Solo together. You'll be on the sequel trilogy. All right. I'm thinking, I don't know if I'll do prequels, original, sequel, and then the standalone, or if I go chronologically and do Solo and Rogue One next. So Mo, keep an eye out.
Do it chronologically, man.
Yeah, I think that makes sense.
If you put them at the end, it seems like they're less important. So
come on. Solo. Yeah. All right. So Oti, again, thanks for being here. Where can people find you? You talked a little bit about what's coming on your show. Just remind us.
Yeah, so at the podcast Star Wars, Star Wars, that's my Twitter handle and my Instagram handle. Check it out. I do a bilingual podcast. Some episodes are in Spanish, some episodes are in English. When will you get each episode? I don't know. Whenever they pop up. I'm doing a Spanish episode about my trip to Galaxy's Edge, but I'm also doing a video which is bilingual because it will just have music behind it. So, yeah.
All right. So again, thank you, Oti, for being here. Thank you, everyone in the chat. Lauren, Mr. Rez, Amy, Mo, Dale, Emperor Holocron, everyone that chimed in today. Thank you for being here. Next week, tune in. We have our friend Norhal is going to be here. We're going to be talking about favorite or the best sidekicks in Star Wars. Probably shouldn't be called sidekicks, but Chewbacca, L3, Fennec Shan, all those great kind of sidekicks to the main characters. We're going to be talking about this. It's going to be a great show.
I'm very excited for that one. Norhal is just she's great.
So I've been looking up be with her in some of the Geeky Waffle live streams that they've done. So it's going to be great officially have her here. So we're going to have a lot of great fun next week. The week after that, which is that Thanksgiving week, we're going to take a week off, let everyone relax, digest the turkey I have. My brother-in-law is going to be here, huge Star Wars fan. I thought about making a show with him, but I don't know. And then after that, we have Connor is going to be here. That's going to be a fight. We're talking about favorite Jedi. Oh, it's gonna be difficult. I think I know everyone knows his favorite.
I know it.
Yeah. And then Jedi Giga will be here December 4th, talking about Legends. And then I think after that, December 17 or whatever it is, then we'll do our big best of 2021. Everything in Star Wars. I'll have categories, everything. It'll be great. I'll have a few guests coming.
Awesome.
And that's going to be it for the year. I might do a special, not live, just talking about my favorite things from my show, The Radio Rebellion, just best of 2021. Whew, that's a lot. So again, Oti, thank you for being here. Thanks to our guests for being here as always. Stay safe, be safe, and may the Force be with you.
Rebellions are built on hope.